They describe the company as having been founded relatively recently, with investments coming in from traditional AAA executives who want to make money, and they're trying to figure out what game to make for that. This is a hard pill to swallow. AAA games' entire existence is to make money. I know, this is a hard pill to swallow. AAA games are funded as a venture into the gaming industry to try to make money. Now, I understand that there's always exceptions. Everyone will point to like something like Elden Ring, but even Elden Ring, if done poorly, the Souls game wouldn't exist if they weren't done well. AAA, remember where we got the term AAA from. AAA is the investment rating. It has nothing to do with the size of the game. It just happens that if you do a AAA game, you're doing big investments, which by incident of the investment is the size of the game, right? It's not the other way around. It's not like, oh, this is a really big game, therefore it's AAA. It's no, this is AAA, therefore it's going to be a bigger game. They say their project's art direction has been largely fueled by AI prompts and generated imagery, all driven by their head art director, who is himself an experienced video game artist, but who now can't even write a fucking email without using ChatGPT. Yeah, part of me, to be fair, like if I was just generating a game and I was like, even the game we were working on, if we didn't have Adam and just TJ and I were working on this offline, I would have generated assets until I kind of came up with an idea and then started bringing in somebody that I knew that could help me, like Adam, to kind of build my vision. I'm not such like a hardcore person in the anti-AI world that I think you can just use that for a little bit and use it as exploring. I don't think that's a huge deal. I think it's better to always hire somebody. I just think at least in today's day and age, barring some unforeseen future jump, it just always feels that people are better at it. In my interview with the company, I was very clear that I do not like AI-generated content. Yeah, generally, same here. I think it has this soulless feel to it. It's like the Dreadlords of Wheel of Time. Yep, Wheel of Time reference. Again, I'm on book 14 at this point. In the Black Tower, Taim is obviously creating Dreadlords. And people who knew the people that were converted into Dreadlords could see the shadow in the eyes, but you could only see it like there's like this haunting problem behind how they look at you, but they still look just like a person. They still look like the person you know, but there's like this hauntingness to it that they're like, you have something evil in you. And so it's like, you can see this with AI generated content too. There's like, at least as of right now, you can see it a lot of the times where it's just like, this is AI generated. You can feel it. There's just something about it that's not quite right. All right, Bradley says, and adds that a team initially said that was fine. The tech was only being used for pitching purposes, which I think is also fine. I mean, this is a good example. Again, I like it as the idea to try to iterate quickly, just to see something, and then when you see something, you make the thing, right? But Bradley says the reality has proven vastly different, and that the studio has made increasing use of AI-generated imagery in their team's art pipeline. Again, you work at a AAA game studio, like, I expect this out of AAA. I actually expect this quite a bit less out of indie. Because a lot of indie is passion projects. A lot of AAA is how do we make the most amount of money projects. Those are very different. They're just different motivations. And that's not always true. I'm positive that's not always true. I'm sure there's AAA games that are actually also passion projects. And I'm also positive, I assume that, like whenever I play a lot of the Nintendo stuff, regardless of what you think about Nintendo and the recent pricing and all that, their games are just so great. I've loved virtually every Mario that ever has been created, and I'd call those AAA games. They've been fantastic, and they're just like, that's just something special there. I feel like that is a passion project as well. So, it's obviously this isn't universally true stuff I'm saying. I have no idea how he ended up as an art director when he can't visualize what he wants in his head unless he's see some end results, Bradley says, rather than beginning with sketches and ideas, then iterating on those to produce more finalized image or vision. Bradley says his boss will just keep prompting an AI for images until he finds one he likes, and then the art team will have to backwards engineer the whole thing to make it work. Interesting. Okay, I guess the idea would be that he's just trying to shortcut that whole process of starting with like the basic sketches and slowly going up. And then once he slowly goes up, then he goes from there and says, okay, he's just trying to back all of that and get the right image right off the rip and says, okay, start there. Yeah, I bet you the game will probably suck. That sounds very hard to kind of to develop a lore and stuff.